Okay, well, I grew up in poverty. My father was a blue-collar worker. He was a cutter, a fabric cutter, and his father was a fabric cutter, and for a while I worked as in that line too, not as a cutter, but as the next step in garment production. And he was an artist, which was good for me, because he was the one that turned me on to water and took me to the museum very often. And I realized after I had grown up that those trips to the museum were an escape from him as well. My mother had problems, so he was escaping. He was taking me with him. Maybe that was at her prompting. But it was wonderful. So, I mean, from very, very early childhood, being at the Museum of Fine Arts and the Gardner Museum and the Fogg Art Museum in Cambridge were just palaces to me and wonderful places to be. So I went to school briefly and dropped out of school, got married, had a baby when I was 19, did time on welfare for 13 years, and since worked multiple blue-collar jobs, the last being at the Worcester Telegram and Gazette as a compositor. And then when I was 50, I got married again. And life has been so much better after 50. So it was cool. I suddenly had the freedom to do a lot of things I really wanted to do. And one was to go back to school and get a master's degree. And when I went to Vermont College, MFA program. So that brings us up to present.